man. You don't know which way they're gonna go. I think they're just.
What do you think that's going to happen? Like, what's the worst thing that can happen if a lizard crosses?
There's actually nothing.
Bro,
I'm dripping in
would you like a shirt?
No.
You look like you're in a
People
sauna.
people will know how hot it is because over the course of this podcast, my mustache will start to melt.
How's the volume?
Volume's perfect, man.
Great.
And we're recording. I will say too, you're my first guest that if something was to go catastrophically wrong with the recording, I wouldn't feel bad being like, "Hey, man, we gotta do this again."
Great. That makes me feel great. I'm glad to know that.
Justin, what do you do for work, man?
So I love this job. Which camera's mine, by the way?
You're speaking to that camera, but you're talking to me.
Oh, that's great. No, I want to talk to them. Okay. I trade the stock market for a living. See, I go to like these meetups. I love to go. I'm an investor. It's all the same. So if you think like whatever your business is, it's all the same. Like we're all trying to. I go to these real estate meetups and I'm like, hey man, I trade the stock market for a living, and I always get the same answer. Well, you're supposed to laugh first of all, but you're gonna lose all your money. Like that's what So Chance, I trade the stock market for a living. That's like the main source of my income.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the main source? Isn't that your only source?
No. Main source.
What's your other source?
So I have real estate investments. I have syndications. Like, I believe in diversification.
Okay.
Like, they call it horizontal income stream. So, like, the average millionaire in America has 7 to 8 income streams. Right. So my goal is to build 7 to 8 income streams across multiple sectors, multiple some not so great investments, but I think we all have those.
If you're comfortable, I'd love to talk about some of those not so late ones later on. But what I actually want to start with, and I didn't think I actually knew this until you brought it up recently, but your first job, I want to capture where you started your career, quote unquote, and where we're at now, because we're sitting in your backyard.
Right.
So what was your first job?
Okay. I don't know how many people listen. Do you think we have IRS agents listening? And if we do you know the statute of limitate? So my first job was I worked for myself. I cut grass like all over my entire neighborhood. And then I started getting jobs like across town. But I was like, hey, I'm already cutting grass. How much does a lawnmower cost? How much does a trailer cost? Bro, I cut grass in high school, college, and I had everything paid off in 2 jobs.
Hold on. How were you cutting grass without a lawnmower?
I had to buy a lawnmower.
Oh, okay.
But I paid for it in 2 jobs.
Okay.
And the trailer. Like I didn't pay for the truck. Like I already had the truck. But yeah, that was I tried to tell you what my first job was, and I started thinking about it. Like I was listening to your podcast, and I was like, that wasn't my first job. My first job was working for myself, cutting grass in the summer. It was kind of hot in the summer. Like I know Florida heat is interesting, but Alabama heat's hot too.
Yeah. So we're talking Birmingham, right? This is
outside of Birmingham.
Okay.
Yeah, think a lot more country, kind of like this, but more cows, more cows in this. Yeah.
Okay, so that was your first job. So that's high school, man. And so you went off to college. I know you did, but
So before college, my real let me pay taxes. Did I say that? My real let me pay taxes job was I was a plumber's helper, and the reason I became a plumber's helper is because my dad was an entrepreneur, and he owned a plumbing company. And you want to know the best way to get your son? You have sons. The best way to get your son off his butt and motivated to go back to school, put him in some ditches in Alabama heat. Like I wasn't on the backhoe, like he was on the backhoe, and I'm in the ditch like shoveling. And I don't know if you or anybody has experience like being the boss's son at work, but it's ruthless, bro. Like you get it from not only do you get it from your dad, but you get it from all the coworkers who think that you're like a nepo type.
baby, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was awful. Yeah, so my first official job was minimum wage. Yeah, digging ditches in the Alabama sun, and that got me into college really quickly.
What was minimum wage back then?
I think it was like 7.
Okay.
It wasn't terrible. I mean, it was terrible for what I was doing, but
Yeah.
it was good.
You were telling me about some commercial jobs and how you can't turn off the water in some of these buildings as a plumber's helper?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you have any?
It's kind of a crappy job, bro. Like, it was kind of a crappy job, and we didn't do a lot of. We did some repairs, but it was mainly new residential, so we didn't always have to deal with that. But like when a good client comes in and they need something fixed, of course we would have
To handle
do
it.
things we didn't want to do, and like you don't cut off sewers. I was telling you, like when things flush in big places, you don't cut that off. You can't go, hey, no one's allowed to use the plumbing for the next, 8 hours. Like that doesn't work. So it's been fun, bro. Like I had to hold a 5-gallon bucket right under like a desk while people cut. But that was clean water. But the water, when you cut off the water, it still has to drain out.
Yeah.
It's a terrible feeling. And like the lady's like, should I move? And I'm like, yes. You should definitely be moving right now because there could be water. And you're sitting there and you're trying to figure out how much. Yeah, so that's a great way to get your child. Like if your kids, I know they have a little, if they don't seem motivated, just get them working in a plumbing company.
There's some manual labor, I think, is a definite motivator. I don't know if I've ever shared this story with you, but when I was a dive instructor, when I first took the job, I was like, man, this is going to be great. I'm going to live on a yacht in the Caribbean. I'm going to be diving all day. And there was that fun stuff too. Sure. But then there's the point of those marine heads where the macerator breaks and stuff gets stuck in there. And the only way to get it unclogged is to go underneath the boat. Dive instructor, I have to do it. And you got a scuba tank and you have a valve and you just put it up there to the out, the sea cock is what they call it. And you open that up and you've got someone standing inside on the marine head with a bucket over the toilet as it all comes back. Thankfully, I always drew the long straw and got to go underwater and not.
Pretty sure we just lost all of our viewership.
I could tell some wastewater stories, but we'll.
Yeah. I think we should maybe you should save that for a different guest.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I've moved on from the crappy jobs. Well, I still do plumbing from time to time, but it's
you
for
do
myself.
your own plumbing,
right? For myself, it feels better when it's your own.
I've got a great story I'll save for later. I had to get my buddy James on. He's a residential contractor, custom homes, that kind of thing. I had him come fix a toilet at my house once.
Oh.
That's a great story. Anyway, so you go to college. Where'd you go to college?
I went to the University of Alabama, Birmingham. Yeah, not the real one. Just
Not the real one?
Yeah, man, we barely had our own football team because politics. I don't know. It just it was I enjoyed my school.
Okay.
But
you played football, didn't you?
I played football in high school, but that was it for me. Like
Okay.
I knew my balance. Never really liked school. Never really.
No.
I've always been that kind of guy that you have to get the degree, you have to do all the things that now we've realized you don't have to do. But it felt different back then, to me at least. And maybe I thought a lot differently back then than I do now.
And so you went to school for...
So I started off, man, I wanted to be a computer programmer. I thought, man, this is great. This is the greatest. Man, I can like write code. This is way before my first assignment was Hello World. I don't know if you've ever done programming, but you just basically a basic output of Hello World. I thought, oh, this is simple. This is great. And then I realized there's a lot of math involved and arrays and building all these imaginary numbers. And so I went to, long story short, changed my major. No offense to all the business guys. I know this is a business podcast, but I found out that Calculus 2 was my brick wall. And I didn't know what a brick wall was, but I went to the professor and I was like, hey, I don't understand anymore. Like, you've lost me. And he's like, hey, you see that? We were standing right behind me was a brick wall. And he's like, you see that? He's like, everybody hits that eventually. He's like, you hit your brick wall. And Chance, I found out a D in college is passing. I got a D in Cal 2, and I've never been so proud of a D in Cal 2. But then I realized business is the way to go. So I got a business degree with a focus in software development. Yeah, so if you can't make it in computer science, just get a business degree.
What's that old adage, right? If you can't do, you teach, or something like that. And I always thought that was terrible because if you can't teach it, you have to actually truly need to understand it in order to teach it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of really interesting professors.
And coaches and mentors and...
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
So you graduate college, you realize that C's and D's get degrees, and where were you going with your life after that? Did you like?
Had no idea.
No.
Yeah, I like technology. I thought I've always liked technology, and I got addicted to stock trading back when I was actually college age. I didn't even remember, but I went and I met with one of my buddies. We hung out all the time, and in college we were, I guess, classmates. It was a little different in UAB because it wasn't like a on-campus
Experience.
type experience. Like some people were, like they have a good medical school there, so like those people come in from different areas. But he's like, do you remember all those times you would sneak away to the computer lab? And I know a lot of you guys might not realize this, but we didn't have, like, there was not internet on phones. That, like, there was just barely, like, I guess it would be Edge network now, to where you could like pull up a basic website. Unfortunately, Google wasn't even around back then. But he's like, do you remember all the time you would sneak away to the computer lab and you'd start making trades? I was like, no, I don't remember that. I don't remember any of that. But he reminded me of it. And then I started thinking, technology is really cool. And I love software. I know I can't be a computer programmer because, like, it's just not for me. I would be miserable. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to get a job in tech. I don't know what tech is. I didn't even know what it was. But I was like, I'm going to get a job in tech. So there were like 3 companies, maybe 2 companies in Birmingham that were doing technology. And they were notorious for bad work environments, just terrible work environments. And couldn't get it like interns. The internships just, they were really hard to get.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I got to find a job. So I just started throwing my applications out everywhere. And I ended up, of all places, at a laboratory company. And something I never learned in school was the very first day on the job, I had to learn how to type on a keyboard wearing latex gloves.
I didn't think that was a skill that needed to be.
No. You should, like, all of you should go get a pair of latex gloves and just go to a keyboard and just type on it and just see what it feels like. It feels so much different.
Is it a sensory thing?
It's a sensory thing. But then, like, kind of going back to the plumbing days, at a laboratory, like, it's blood testing and all kinds of bodily fluid testing. You start looking at that keyboard, like, just think about the number of specimens that one keyboard goes through in a day. You're talking like 500-600. You start looking down, you're just like, man, is this what my college degree has got me? Like, I'm typing, like, I never learned how to type on a keyboard that's sometimes sticky, sometimes it's just like gross, and you're wearing gloves. And you're like, hey, can I get some of that PPE? Can I have that lab coat that all the, no, that's just for us. I'm like, oh. Yeah, so that was my job. I spent 20 years, 19.75 years in corporate America. And I thought that was what you should do. I went up the chain in corporate America.
I want to ask before we go there, your college buddy reminding you that you would sneak off to the computer lab to make trades. Where did that, do you know your first trade? What was your first?
I do remember my first trade.
What was it?
Xerox. XRX.
Is Xerox still publicly traded?
No idea. I bought it. I still remember. Bought it $3.73. Sold it $15.25.
Wow.
Yeah, I got addicted. It was great.
Do you think that there's people out there that when their first trade goes that well, that they're hooked, right? Because it's
Sure.
almost feels like gambling, sure money.
Yeah.
But it's also a bad thing?
No, I think it's the greatest thing in the world.
To win on your first trade?
I think the stock market is the greatest thing in the world. And I don't think it matters if you win or... Inevitably, you're going to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
You're going to get... I remember my second trade. I guess I can say. I traded this company called HealthSouth.
Okay.
HealthSouth, allegedly... Their CEO came to our business school. He was local to Birmingham. He was accused of massive amounts of fraud, and apparently there's this term called cooking the books. Allegedly, he cooked the books. But anyways, I found out my second trade. I found out what pink sheets are. So a pink sheet is when a stock, you can buy it at $15 a share because the CEO comes and tells you how great it is, and then it goes down to 2 cents. Yeah. So that was my second trade. And
So you most likely lost everything you had made off that first trade.
no, I didn't do it that way. So
Okay.
I was lucky. I was fortunate. I was fortunate that I didn't lose. I lost everything in the tech bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the tech bubble came and like the stocks, I kind of joke about it now with some of the guys that I coach now. I coach these guys and I'm like, hey man, these semiconductors kind of feel a little bit like the tech stock, the tech boom. I don't know. We don't probably want to get too much into stocks, but like there was a stock. It's called JDSU. It's JDSU in I don't even know what they did, but the acronym was just don't sell us, because the stock went from like $30 to $60 overnight. And then it went from $60 to $180. And by the end of the week, like you'd buy the stock at 30 and it would be 300 by the end of the week. And it was the greatest feeling in the world. Like you're talking about better than any drugs you can ever imagine to grow your account from like 300 to 5,000 by the end of the week.
Yeah.
And then they call it a bubble for a reason, because the bubble pops and then you're left with like, if you started out with 300, you might be lucky if you had 100 after it was over with, if you're lucky, because you never want to get out, right? So that was my second trade. But at the same time, I started realizing that the stock market is the best way to make money. And it's passive income. And you're like, well, is it really passive? And it is, because I also invested my entire life savings in this new company. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. When I was in college, it's called Google. Okay, Google was when I was in school. Like we had to do research papers, and you'd have to go to the library and like they had card catalogs. I'm sorry, you probably don't even know.
I actually do know what that is.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know, but we had to go to the card catalogs, and we had all these search engines, right? So I still remember like the best search engine when I was going to school was called Dogpile.
Dogpile?
So Dogpile would go to all of these different sources, and it would grab like, I'm type psychology, whatever it is, like whatever topic you don't really know about, it would go to all these different sources and it would grab them. And it was pretty cool until this other company called Google came along. Google was a new company. Like they were doing all this kind of cool stuff, but it wasn't quite put together yet. It was just like the bits and pieces. But
Enough to excite you, though.
well, I saw how useful it was compared to what I was doing in school. For what I needed from school. Like compared to Dogpile, Google was 4 times better. Dogpile was literally a dog pile. That's probably why I went out of business. But I put a huge investment of my money into Google when it went IPO, right? And that's part of the reason why we're sitting here today.
What was what did IPO at?
I have no idea, but I know that I took what my savings account was. It was like $6,000,
Okay.
and I put it in there. And I know that it returned really well over the last.
I'll say that's a
23
reasonable amount of
years.
money for a college grad.
It's a lot of money
Recent
for
college
me.
grad. When
I was still in school.
You were still in school.
Yeah.
So $6,000 to me now, $6,000 is a lot of money to throw after
It's relative,
an IPO.
right? It's
An
relative.
IPO,
Yeah.
right?
But that was probably one of my. I know this is called personal best. That was probably one of my first really large bets on something that wasn't me.
Yeah.
Right. Like giving someone else that much money didn't feel scary as much as different. But if you believe in it, I'm of the opinion that if you believe in something and it goes wrong, that's better than listening to somebody else who, like the way I got into Xerox, my best buddy in college, his dad was an attorney. He's like, buy Xerox. That's no way to make a bet for me. Like if I see how a company is working and I know how the fundamentals kind of work, I don't even need to know all the numbers. I just need to know what are they doing? Do I like it? And where's it going to be in 20, 30 years? And if I think it's going to be substantially higher, then I'm going to take that move. And it worked out really well for Google.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about some that don't work. HealthSouth didn't work out so well. So
Okay, so you graduate, you end up at LabCorp, and you start climbing the corporate ladder.
sure.
Now, I had that entrepreneurial bug early on. Was there any times where you felt like you needed to go out and do something on your own, or was the market giving you that entrepreneurial itch, or scratching that itch, I should say?
Yeah, I never was really happy. It's not that I don't like to take orders from other people, but I like to feel appreciated and that I'm actually making an impact. And for me in corporate America, it's really hard to not just be 87703. Like, you know what I mean? Like just a 5-digit number, because that's kind of what you are.
Was that your employee number?
No, I changed it up a little bit. But yeah, I was really close to that, because I was like I guess I'm the 8,000th employee of that company. But man, like I went, just a quick example of why I did not like corporate America is I spent 20 years there, and we had like this audit from corporate that came down, and I was the actual all-star of the division on Thursday, and on Tuesday I was getting a paper that said I was part of a reduction in force. And I just came to my mind that I'm nothing but a number. Now on the following Wednesday, I got a call from the CFO, or I guess it was a CIO, and they're just like, hey, would you like a job with corporate? And dumb me, I should have just taken the package and said, no, thank you. But I was like, oh, the CIO's calling. Yes, I'd love to work for you.
Felt important.
Yeah, I felt important. It was one of the, I don't know if it was a mistake, but it kept me in corporate America for another 8 miserable years. Because you just move up. Like, you just move up, and you think that you're getting more power, but you're not getting more power. You're not really making that much more money. You're just getting headaches and stress and nightmares that just don't go away. They go away eventually.
Yeah.
Just for the people that get riffed, they do go away. But yeah, so that was, I was day trading from my desk every day. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but in a management position, like you can be on a conference call, you have a lot of extra time. So I'm just sitting there like in online chat rooms, talking about stocks, meeting weird people who now have podcasts and online communities, and, talking about people's boats and saying, hey, I want to move to Orlando. And then they don't think you really want to move to Orlando, and you do.
6 years later.
Yeah, it just took a while.
So let's shift there. So
Okay.
you and I were in a trading group together, a Slack channel.
Sure.
A Slack channel. We both paid to be in there. And I can't remember what it was during COVID, because I had just bought my little fishing boat, and that was my smallest COVID impulse buy, because I later bought a business, which we can talk about. And I think I posted a photo of my boat in the Slack channel, and then I just made a trade that paid for 3 months worth of payments or something like that. And you direct messaged me.
I don't remember anything about the trade, but I remember the boat. Like, you had a boat. Pretty sure it had a really nice cooler, and there was a dog.
Yep, my dog was there, same color as my truck.
Right.
Red.
Yeah, I remember.
That red color, and we were up on the sandbar, and it was like a Thursday or something like that. We had the day off for some reason.
Okay.
Because I was still in corporate. I posted the boat because I just had a trade close. It might have been on Apple or something like that. AMD,
Sure.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then you dropped in my DMs, and you're like, I want to move to Florida.
Yeah. I want a lake house in Florida.
I want a lake house in Florida is what you opened up with.
Yeah.
And that started a friendship. And they tell you shouldn't talk to people
So
in
weird.
online chat groups.
I know.
But
I don't make a habit of meeting other guys in chat rooms, okay? Like, this is not something that happens very often. But I think it's worked out all right.
it's worked out all right.
Yeah.
There's been some fun stories that have come from this.
Oh, yeah.
And you're at a lake house.
Yeah, we have a lake house. It's pretty nice.
You have a lake house, not we have a lake.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're at a lake house right now.
We're at a lake house.
Yeah.
So you get into that group, and was it just before that or just after that you left corporate?
No, I was in that group for a while, and I was still part of that group through leaving. So I was in there, I don't know, a couple years, maybe 3 years.
But you left corporate before or after you and I struck up a friendship?
After. So I left the corporate world after COVID.
Okay.
Because, like, when you talk to people, like we start off this podcast, when you say, I trade the stock market as my main source of income, people are always going to say, well, you're going to lose your money. And then I finish up with the sentence of, well, I've traded through 2008. I've traded through 2017, which is kind of a rough year, and I traded through COVID. And I made money in all those. So when COVID hit, I still remember this like vividly. I like to watch. I know people don't really like CNBC. I know people don't like Jim Cramer, whatever. I don't care. I like to watch it. And I was watching, and the guy on television said, "Hey, zombies could really be coming soon." And he was serious. Like, he was a guy in a suit, and he was talking about zombies. And I said, you know what? I've always heard that nuclear war is bullish. I mean, because like either we're going to all die in a nuclear fallout, whatever it's called. See, that's what school gets you, whatever that's called, or we're going to live and they're going to overreact. So I was like, hey, if zombies are really coming, I mean, we are washing our fruit and vegetables with Clorox wipes, so like maybe they are coming. But I was like, I'm just going to make the same bet that I made on Google. I'm just going to make it on SPY, the S&P 500, the largest 500 companies in the United States. So I'm not going to tell you the amount of money that I put into SPY. I don't think that's relevant. It just doesn't matter. But the amount of money that I put in was all of my savings. Again. And I'm like, hey, if the top 500 companies of America go out of business,
You got bigger problems.
money's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And within, I think it was 7 or 8 months, we had a V-bottom recovery, and all the experts said there's no such thing as a V-bottom recovery. There's never a V-bottom recovery. There'll never be a V-bottom recovery. There was a V-bottom recovery, and I made double my salary from that one bet in the stock market than I ever made working this, I would say 40 hours, but it's more like 60 hours weeks that I was in all the stress. I was like, I don't need LabCorp anymore when I have the stock market. Mm-hmm. When I have other passive income streams. Because the thing about money, and it's horrible to say, but when you get money, it's so much easier to make more money. You get so many more opportunities. You pay to get into rooms that you normally wouldn't pay to. And a lot of people can't understand this and like, hey, I can't pay my bills. And I understand. But if you can start cutting out certain expenses and you can start buying assets that build you more assets, like S&P 500 or whatever it is, like business loans, whatever, you can start building the passive income that everybody wants. They might want a lake house like this one day. And that's how you can be here on a random, I don't even know what day it is, Tuesday? A random Tuesday. And
It's Tuesday.
yeah, you can be here on a random Tuesday and say, hey, somebody wants to be on a podcast. You want to be on a podcast? Sure. Yeah, I don't have a lot of, I had a couple coaching calls and now I'm talking to you
Yeah, I love that.
through the stock market. Yeah.
In hindsight, obviously it was a great trade. During the course of those 6-7 months, was there any fear?
Oh yeah, man. I put in that amount of money. I still remember the exact amount of money. I put in that amount of money and I watched it just deteriorating for like,
Because you didn't pick the bottom.
anybody who says they picked the bottom, they got really lucky or they're just liars. But
Yeah.
no, man, I didn't pick the bottom. I didn't even get close to the bottom. There was like weeks. It felt like it was just weeks. But like every day you go and you just looking like, oh, well, there's another 5% gone. Oh, there's 10. Wait, am I down 25%? And then eventually you just stop looking. You just stop looking. And that's what I did. Like, what was I going to do? I put it all in. Like, that was it. That was it. That was my bet. Like, what am I going to do? But I still have my W-2 job, which is like, I think a lot of people, if we get like birds coming in, this is going to be great. This is going to be so awesome. But if we, thank you, Mr. Bird. But if we get like a bad thing happening and you put all your bets in, then you just still have the W-2. Yeah. Some people don't leave that W-2 job. They're so afraid of the security of a W-2 job. And then you realize, hey, here's your RIF paper that you don't really matter. You could be the top salesman of your company and like you have experience.
I've been there. You can hit all the metrics and doesn't matter. And this same topic is why I've encouraged so many people who have options for employee stock purchase plans. What was that?
That water bottle. You're okay.
Oh, I thought a bird dropped something on us. All these people who participate in employee stock purchase plans,
sure,
right, is that you're already technically net long the company stock by having a W-2 job with it.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You can use that for your advantage, and I did. I used my employee stock purchase plan. I sold out of those shares and bought the Pepotique. And I never got back in, and
sure,
it worked out just fine for me.
Yeah.
Do you have any? I want to. So we meet in it probably was May of 2020,
okay,
and we meet for the first time in person in October of 2021. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah, you didn't think I was going to show up. I know.
I didn't think you were going to show up.
I know.
The broker that
It's
we
fine.
were trading through had a talk in New York City. Was it Bad Trader? Bad Trader
Sure,
tour.
I think so.
It was about making bad trades.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want to go to this. And you messaged back like, hey, I'm going to go to this. Like, do you want to meet up in New York City? I hadn't been to New York since I was a kid. I'm like, let's go. It's the finance hub of the world. Like, this excites me. And literally show up. Never met you before in my life. And I think you were afraid that I might be a serial killer.
Oh, I was terrified to go to New York City. Are you kidding me? Guy from Alabama? Like, that was so intimidating. Yeah.
And we walked 30,000 steps every single day,
Yeah.
trading the market
Sure.
during the course of that. And I hope you don't mind me bringing up a trade that you had on at the time.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about all my bad trades. This is great.
I think this is helpful for people because people, when they hear stock market coach, they think that you're a financial advisor and you're giving
Sure.
financial advice, but you're working on people's mindsets. You're never telling them what to trade or how to trade.
It doesn't matter. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be the stock market. It could be real estate. It could be your business.
Yeah.
Somebody else's. It doesn't matter. Like all investments are the same. It's just
Yeah.
It's the vehicle and the mindset. That's all it is.
So you had put on a couple months before, a trade on Facebook. It was still Facebook at the time. I don't think they had converted to the Meta ticker yet.
Oh, I don't know because I specifically I put on a fairly large trade on Meta Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg, he wouldn't shut up about the metaverse. Like this is before the cool Mark, okay?
Yeah.
Like this is the nerdy Mark, and I was like, if this nerd doesn't stop saying the word because every time he said metaverse, the stock would just drop another $20.
Well, he was spending billions of dollars.
Like he
on
was
Metaverse,
throwing
yeah.
every dollar he had, like pretty much like how
Yeah.
I'm throwing every dollar I have. Well, the stock market didn't like it, and I took the bet because I was like, hey, like I didn't even use Facebook. That's the funny part. I was like, hey man, this sounds like a really good opportunity. You know, let me generate some passive income on this one. And so you and I were walking across the Brooklyn Bridge, and I looked down at my phone because it was a Friday. I specifically remember it was a Friday, and every Friday, I know you guys aren't nerds, but every Friday I have to roll options. You know this. And I looked down. I was like, man, I'm down like $50K in Meta, and it's a paper loss.
Yep.
So
Because you own the shares.
I had ownership. Like it's just like if you own a real estate, like commercial real estate, and it just has like a little hiccup in the area or something. So like I knew that there was an asset there. Like I couldn't see it. You can't feel the stock market, but you can. It's the same for me. It's the same as a business. Like you knew in the pet shop, you own this building. You actually have clients. You can't see the clients, but you know they're going to come in next week. So I kind of knew it was there. But man, I was walking across that Brooklyn Bridge, and I was thinking, man, this really sucks. It really, really sucks. But I was like, hey, I hope it works out. I think it'll work out. Like, if I lost $50,000, my life's not going to be that much different than it would be if I was up 100,000.
Yeah.
And I don't say that to brag, but that is like part of how you can keep yourself calm. It's just know your risk tolerance and don't over leverage, because it's the same way in any investments. I mean, you're a business broker, you know this, but over leverage is what's going to kill the most amount of people.
Yeah.
So don't over leverage and be ready for really bad things to happen, and just plan ahead. And if they do, you're just like, hey, I just have to hold on. I've just got to get through this business deal transaction. It was just a transaction for me. Let me get through this transaction and hope that it works out.
I think it's important to note there too that you weren't betting your entire year's worth of
No.
income on that one trade.
No.
That was just a
No,
small part.
I mean,
It was a lot
would
of
I
money.
would I have preferred to not
Have a
leverage as
drawdown.
much as I did? Yeah, hindsight, and it's not a big mistake if you learn from it. So I learned from it. I was like, hey, maybe instead of selling like, was it 6 or 7 of those? Maybe it should have been 2.
Yeah.
2 or
Leg
3.
into 'em.
Just half. Like,
Yeah.
hey man, what is it really worth that risk? And it came out fine. I ended up buying a Tesla and paying cash. So I went from a $50,000 loss to like $85,000 profit.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a swing, and it took a little while. It took some patience, and there was a lot of option selling that you have to know what you kind of have to know what you're doing. You have to hold on. But even if I didn't even know a thing and I just held on to it, like, could you imagine if I still had those shares today?
I was just speaking to a buyer of mine, and he was talking about missed opportunities, right?
Yeah.
He has an opportunity that, just he's being prudent. It doesn't make right sense to make that call right now.
Sure.
But it made me think about the time we bought Costco shares.
Yeah.
I was at SeaWorld. I've done a lot of business while walking around SeaWorld of all places.
Well, you're just in SeaWorld a lot. I think you're just in SeaWorld
yeah,
a
I
lot.
think I probably
You and
am.
Shamu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Oh, is Shamu gone?
I think the original Shamu is gone. But we bought 100 shares of Costco for a dividend play.
Yeah.
And we collared it, so we didn't have a ton of risk on the table. And what was the share price? $5.56?
Sure.
And it's trading $1,100 right now.
Sure.
I think we were excited to get out for a $3,000 or $4,000 profit.
Hey, man. A win's a win.
A win's a win. A win's a win. I want to talk about a few more bad trades and investments before a questionable one, and then a great one, if you don't mind. Do you have any other bad trades or investments that you?
I feel like you're insinuating something. Like, what are you saying?
I don't know. Maybe a beverage.
Oh, yeah. So
This one still might plan out.
I mean, it could. Like yeah. So I like to say yes to a lot of things, because I think that
I'm glad you said that, because that's actually what I'm trying to get at here. It's not actually the investment that I'm.
Yeah. So I love to say yes to things because you never really know. Like maybe your buddy tries to get you to try jujitsu or whatever it is. Like I'll say yes, even if he doesn't believe that you're going to do it. So yeah, I pay a lot of money to get into rooms with people who have similar mindsets, like investors. Like I mean, just this week I spent, I'm not even going to talk about it because it's a gross amount of money to get into a network with other people who have a similar net worth and have a similar mindset. And I found that when you pay to get into those rooms, you get opportunities you never expected. So like I went to Kentucky. There's this thing called a Bourbon Trail. Like I don't even drink. Well, I drank that time. I don't even drink,
I
man.
don't actually think I've ever seen you drink an alcoholic beverage.
I don't drink.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, unless I'm at the Bourbon Trail, bro.
But you were sampling.
Oh no. Yeah. You're sampling, but like it's like 30 to 40 samples, and
Yeah.
man, they make this bourbon that you can mix in with root beer. It's like a float. Oh, you can put it in your car. So I was like, hey, I had this opportunity to like. It's kind of like a good old boy network to where only the people from Kentucky, they want to keep it real tight. Yeah, so you have to have connections. So I got a connection. They're like, hey, we're going to start a fund, and love for you to give us a contribution. You know, we're going to buy some bourbon at a discount, and we bought bourbon at a discount. We got a good price on our bourbon. Like I was in the very first one. The guy had never done any kind of syndication like this, so I was his first, and I feel better about that because
Is this your first syndication as well?
no.
Okay. You've already been inside at this point.
I had real estate syndications.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, and
Mobile homes?
yeah, mobile home park. I don't care. Brandon Turner, he worked out great guy. I love Bigger Pockets. I don't know if the viewers watch, but just got out of that one recently. So that was my first syndication. This was actually, it's not really officially a syndication. It was kind of, you have to know each other. I don't know the technical term. There's different kinds of syndications where they can't advertise a certain way for tax.
And you're an accredited investor, so there's all that caveat.
So anyways, we got like a 30% discount on our bourbon, but then we didn't know, like, people talk about underwriting, and it's probably not great for like a business broker, but when you go to underwrite, you don't know everything, and you never will. So unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, we got a president who decided that he was going to enact tariffs. And that's something that we never thought about in our bourbon investment. But it had really negative connotations for the demand of bourbon from outside of the U.S., which caused the price, supply demand, business. So it caused the price of bourbon to decrease by 60%. So if you get a 30% discount on your 1,200 barrels of bourbon, which I got to drink my bourbon the first year we got it, it was like rubbing alcohol, bro. Like rubbing alcohol.
It hadn't aged yet.
I mean, you might as well. Like, that was the cool part. We got to taste our bourbon, nail polish remover, whatever it was. And then we got to taste actually really good bourbon at the end. And but yeah, so I'm in a bourbon investment. I don't know. My buddy Chance, I don't know if you guys know Chance, but he hears about this all the time. Like, oh, you're still talking about this bourbon investment? Because it's been like 5 years now. We've been talking about bourbon. He's like, are you still in that? And I'm like, yeah. Because I feel like every time I'm with him, like if I have my phone, I'm surprised. I probably get a message in the WhatsApp group about bourbon every time I'm around him. Like, I get a message. So, like, hopefully they'll tell me that we're going to sell our bourbon for a really nice profit.
Yeah. But again, that's an investment that you did some due diligence on. And then
I did the best I could.
The best you could.
And I thought it was a good opportunity.
Because you don't know everything, right? And
I don't
you
think
can't know
anybody
everything.
does.
You can't know everything about a deal.
Only
You can't-
dumb people do.
Yeah. You can
'Cause
only
they don't
forecast so much.
Yeah.
But as long as you build in some sort of moat, like Warren Buffett says, some sort of margin, you can sleep comfortably at night. Or more comfortably.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not going to talk about my sleep score, but yeah.
But I'm saying, if the bourbon never panned out, it would, of course, it would suck that it's a loss. But it wouldn't ruin you.
No, if you're going to do something to ruin you, you better be really... If I were ever to take that kind of risk, which I don't have to anymore, it would have to be something that I was so confident in myself and the end result. Like, that's the only... For me, it really is the personal bet. Like, if you want to make a personal bet, you better believe in it more than anybody else. And you never know. But if you believe in it more than anybody else, then you're gonna get through those hard, discipline equals freedom. Like, if you have the discipline to get through the hard times, and I think that would be the only time I would take a true personal bet. A true big bet would be a personal bet
Of that magnitude.
Yeah.
I think the way I like to think about this is like, if I was young, no wife, no kids, and I had $50,000 to my name, right? I would feel comfortable putting all that on the line, right? But now, I don't know if I would make a bet as big as I would have to now to put everything on the line, because I got too much. The risk doesn't outweigh the reward, or the risk outweighs the reward. It's like you're not making those kind of bets anymore, because the leverage you'd be getting is insane to take a risk like that.
It depends on your goal. Because for me, money's not the goal.
What is your goal?
For me, the goal is more about building relationships, having really cool experiences, and not having to ever depend on somebody else to sign my paycheck. Because when I have to depend on somebody else, I can never 100% trust them. Right? So my goal is to be able to go to the lake anytime I want. Like, I start my mornings in a kayak. That's my goal.
Every day.
Yeah, I mean,
Just about every
is
day.
there not any other way? Like, is that not what? Like, I don't think whatever your. So, the problem with money as your goal is it never ends. Like, I'll leave my job when I get $1 million. Well, I tell you, you'll get $1 million and you'll say that's not enough. I know that. Like, I know this firsthand, and I see it like in my accountability groups, in my coaching. I see it every day. It's like 1 million turns into 3 million. And before you know it, you're going to tell me you want a $50 million fund. You need a $50 million fund of assets under control, whatever the term. I'm not a business. I have a business degree. You have to have $50 million. You need an executive assistant. You got to make all this money. I'm like, hey, I know that I just need to pay my utility bills. I need to be able to have food. It'd be nice to turn on my air conditioner when you live in Orlando, Florida. But I know what my expenses are to have a life of freedom. Mm-hmm. And so there's a decision that has to be made. Do you really want money, or do you want the things that money can provide you? For me, money's a tool to get me the things that I want, would like to have, but I need. What do I need? How much do you need to live off of? And if you do the math backwards, more than likely, you can probably live on $60,000. It depends how much your kids eat, I guess. But you could probably live on $60,000 to $80,000 a year. So do the math backwards and figure out, how can I make $60,000 to $80,000 in passive income, or active, whatever you want to do, and then build the life of your dreams and stop waiting. Because too many people are waiting on this. Tomorrow might not come, bro. Like, it doesn't. Not guaranteed. So you got to work backwards. You got to figure out, what do I actually need or want? What's that number? And work back. Because it's not $50 million. Like, I don't know if the guy's going to listen to this podcast. He knows who I'm talking about. But like, it's a real conversation that I have every week. Yeah. I'm like, you don't need 50 grand. You don't need 50 million. You don't. No one. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say no one needs that. Maybe that's not accurate. Maybe certain people do want that kind of a lifestyle, but for me, I'm fine with a simple, I don't know if you call this simple lifestyle, like a lake house. Like, that's my dream. It's always been my dream. Like, it's been on my vision board for however many years.
How many years has it been?
I don't know. You said 6, so I'm going to say 6.
Is it 2026? Yeah, so
2026.
7. It's probably 7 years, 7 or 8 years.
So there's one more trade I'd love to talk about, but we can skip over that one if you like.
Go ahead.
So in 2024,
You're telling me, man. Just tell me the story. Act like I don't know it.
I called.
know it.
I got a call from my banker, and we've been discussing a refinance out of our SBA loan of our shop, and we own the building and the business that we had, as well as the mobile green business. And he's like, "Hey, man, if you don't get out of this loan, you're going to be in some real deep doo-doo." Right? To go back to your plumber's helper analogy, you got to do something. He goes, "I can't tell you what to do, but like we've got some different options out there. You know, you need to start exploring this." He goes, "You need to do the math, figure out what you need to do." And I realized that I needed to sell a portion of my business and give equity in my building in order to make this loan happen, in order to keep things moving. And I called you and asked you for advice. Remember what you said to me?
Not a clue.
Oh, come on.
I wish I could tell you.
You asked me how much did I need.
Oh. Sounds about right.
And I said, I need $100,000.
Oh.
And you said, for lack of a better term, you goes, where do I wire the money?
I mean, that's probably how you remember it. Yeah.
You asked for some basic details. Your underwriting was all of...
Oh, I don't do like calculus 2. I feel like underwriting, and I shouldn't say this if my business partners are listening, but they already know because they do the math. Yeah, I don't like spreadsheets. So I'm sure you probably sent me some kind of spreadsheets, and I'm sure that they had numbers on them. I just knew. I mean, not to sound weird, but I think we probably, if I had to guess at the time, we probably shared 40 to 50 messages a day,
Yeah.
maybe. So I do deals, not like they have to make sense to me. I have to understand them, but I invest, this is common. I invest in the person more than the deal. So if the deal makes sense and I just know, like I could be wrong, I could have been wrong, I wasn't wrong, but I just knew that the person I was giving the money to would do everything in his ability to repay me. Everything he could. Like, would he sacrifice his wife and kids? No. Family first, but he would do everything after my family's got to be healthy, my family needs a house. He would do everything he could to repay me. And if he couldn't repay me, would I be upset? Sure. Would it have made a huge difference in my life? I don't know. I don't think so. But it wasn't so much the return on investment. It was the investing your capital in somebody you think has enough potential. Maybe the deal turned out like Google. Or hopefully it didn't turn out like Health South. It didn't. But maybe it turns out like Google. But if it could change the direction of their lives, their family, like, do you want to see them head in a bad situation when they just needed, like, when you think about it in stock market terms, like a margin call, like if people over leverage, the brokerage is going to make sure they protect themselves. So they're going to margin call you. They're going to sell your assets at the worst possible time, and they're going to benefit from that because they're going to take that capital and recycle it to somebody, and somebody's going to get a heck of a deal.
Yeah.
So I felt like the phone call that we had, you were in a situation where either you were about to have a fire sale and unload a business at a crazy price, which would have all kinds of I don't even know the kind of repercussions, the personal I'm sure you probably had personal guarantees and all these things with your lenders. I'm like, that's going to be a really painful journey for somebody who just needs X amount of dollars, right? The business how are variable rate loans when interest rates are going up? Not very good,
They're
right?
fantastic when rates are zero.
Hey, man, when they're going down, like one of my investments right now, we have a variable rate loan. I think about your deal all the time. I'm like, hey, man, this is great right now. Interest rates are going down. Hopefully we have the FOMC coming up and hopefully the interest rate. But it's in the back of my mind all the time. And my business partner knows this. Like, we have to keep up with this interest rates on a variable rate loan or you end up in a really bad situation. So for me, it wasn't that hard of a decision because I just knew that I had a really good feeling. I didn't know, but I had a really good feeling that you do everything in your ability to repay that loan.
How do you? Business is ruthless, right? And people in business can be ruthless. You've, I think, experienced both sides of that track of working with people as an investor, as a hard money lender, syndications. What do you look for in people? Like, is there any telltale signs? Is there anything that you're like, or is it just feeling? You just, you get in a room with someone, you're like, I don't know if that person's being genuine.
If they ever lie to me once, it's over.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, if you're gonna, and it could be the dumbest thing in the world, but if you're gonna just lie over that, and then if you're gonna, like, whatever reason, it could be something really minor, but if you're gonna lie over something really minor, and I catch you in the lie, if you admit to it, hey, that's cool, maybe a second chance. But if you're like, hey man, let me lie to your face, I need to trust the person, first of all. And how do you figure out how you trust the person? A lot of it's gut feel. Like, you don't know. Like, I felt really good about certain people, and I realized, hey, you never put anybody on a pedestal. Like, no one ever gets on a pedestal, and you kind of want to be like, keep your heroes just out of reach. Like, don't meet them, because I've met so many of my heroes, and I was just like, man, of all the things you have to say to me, like, I'm not even gonna say. Yeah. I'm just like, man, I went all the way to this trading convention. You're gonna tell me that? I'm just like, man, just dagger to the heart. So. Feeling, it's a gut feeling, and it's the same thing. It's if you're gonna over leverage, and if you're going to start having these weird feelings because you're over leveraged, and then you push it on to, like, if that loan was really that big to me and I was bugging you about it every single day, that's going to start impacting the business. It's going to start impacting the way you run your business. Yeah. So I have to make sure that it makes sense for me and it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, here's the cool thing about this. There's so many opportunities out there. Like, pet grooming shops, it doesn't matter. Like, even if you wanted to start a business, like, people want to start business all the time. I guess you talk to them, but there's so many opportunities. Why would you put somebody in a bad deal when 17 more deals are probably already out there or they're coming tomorrow?
Yeah.
So it's like, just figure out the ones that make sense to you. And if you don't want to go groom dogs, I mean, I visited the shop once. They actually wouldn't let me touch the dogs. I think they were afraid that I was going to either injure probably myself or the dogs. Like, they didn't want to, like,
you weren't on our workers' comp.
People really care about their dogs, okay, and they're like their child. So they didn't want me to injure someone's child. But I got to see what the business was like, and I was like, hey, there's another job I don't want to do. Hey, this is actually a business. I wouldn't want to run this business every day. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I wouldn't want to run this business every day.
Yeah.
But I've met two people who actually thought they did at one point. I don't know if they still, I guess they did, and they sold it. They ended up selling their business, but I'm like, man, I wouldn't want to do that. Like, what's the return on that one? Like, I don't know. Like, how much do you make turning over dogs? Like, that's a rough job, bro. Like, they had this huge dog. Fur went everywhere. It was like, I've never seen so much fur in my life. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, we specialize in Samoyeds, which are like big huskies.
Just think polar bears. Just like,
we would change our air filters the day before and the day after those dogs would come in because we would go through so much. Things I never thought I'd have to think about.
Pretty sure I still have, wherever that shirt is, if I still have that shirt, it probably still has that dog's hair on it. Oh, like, probably. That's how much. Yeah.
When we painted that inside of that building, I did that myself to save a couple grand.
I appreciate that.
I did everything possible. Right?
I told you that guy would.
One of those industrial leaf blowers.
Yeah, I bet.
And what you think it's clean, and then you hit that, and the dander comes off those walls. That's when I got that. This is so random. I got that. I had my headphones out while I was doing that, and I put my headphones in. I got that ear infection that ruptured my eardrum.
Yeah.
From that. But we can cut that part out. All right, so now I want to talk about what I think is probably your best trade, your friendship with me. No, I'm just kidding.
Tell me more.
This lake house
best trade.
You have a third of an acre? Half an acre?
Well, I don't know for sure, but I just bought an electric lawnmower. So I Googled, I was like, what is the acreage for blah, 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 blah. Apparently I have 0.6 of an acre here.
0.6 of an acre.
Yeah.
Beautiful house. You've got a house, a detached garage. You've got an office space, extra rentable room upstairs.
I have a 40-volt push mower, electric.
You have a bit of an incline back here on the lake, but you got your dock, you got your boat. You didn't have a W job. How the heck did you buy this thing?
Oh, I pay cash for all my stuff. I love cash. People say that it's the dumbest thing you can do to pay cash for assets like this. And I think it's the best thing in the world because you have security. And to me, like, security is more important than anything else. Like, I don't handle, this might sound weird, but I don't handle stress extremely well. And I recognize that. Like, I would not do well. I do not do well in stressful environments. So if I know that I have a really large investment that can easily be taken, man, if one of these lizards comes on your back, I am going to be the happiest person in my entire life. I'm sorry, these lizards are chasing each other, and Chance apparently doesn't like lizards, but man, I have dinosaur lizards. I just know that there's a lot of value in this home that if I ever needed money, there's ways to get into it. So, like, I would rather have this as my capital, as my assurance that if a zombie apocalypse comes, I'm just going to be on the lake. Like, do zombies swim? I don't know. But, so this house was purchased by letting go of one of my most prized trades ever, my Google shares.
The ones you bought in college.
Yeah. I've held on those things for 20 something years. I still don't, I don't have all, I didn't have all of them. I started unloading a little bit of them as time went on. And I don't know how many people follow the stock market. I mean, maybe you have as well, but I sold my shares of Google to buy this house. And if I held on to those shares of Google over the last 10 months, whatever, how long I've owned this house, do you know how much more money I would have had?
Yeah.
Do you know how much I care?
0.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Well, I can still trade it. Like, the cool thing about the stock market is, like, it's a couple clicks of buttons. The cool thing about a business is you want to get out of a business, go hire a business broker. I know of one, but bro, it's a nightmare to get out of real estate and business. And I click a button, I'm out. I can get right back in.
Yeah, and you can get right back in.
Yeah. So I've already gotten some more exposure to Google. I'm already back into Google shares. Now, am I going to make $2 million on my Google shares? Probably not. I probably won't live. Who knows? Maybe, but I probably won't live long enough to see Google go from 5,000 to like 1.5 mil. I probably won't see that again. But maybe I'll see it in a different company.
What do you think that teaches people, or could teach people, about patience? 20 years. 20 years you sat on those shares.
Yeah. I sold them once. I used to think that, for some reason, I always think people know more than I do. I don't know. But I was listening to this guy on television. Doesn't matter. Jim Cramer. And Google had earnings. And he's like, Google's going to report terrible earnings. Get out of Google. So I sold my shares. I sold all my shares. Because Jim Cramer said to. And this is a long time ago. Google gapped up $4 on that earnings. You know what I did?
Back in?
I just bought them immediately. I was like, well, I missed that $4. But look at them now. So what did that teach you about patience? I'm not always great with patience. I'll be honest with you. But I think that if you have the right mindset and you just remember, buy assets. Stop buying like it's that boat. I don't know if they can see the boat in the background.
It's probably a little blurry, but
that
right
boat in the background, like you had a boat.
Yeah.
It's break out another 1,000. Okay, like you can buy. Let's just say you buy a boat for like 50 grand. I don't even know, man. You could put 100 grand in that boat. Like you can end up. So if you want to buy,
it catches the same amount of fish.
I mean, just to make it work, you have to keep paying for. So don't put all your money in a boat. Put your money in assets. Buy some shares. Like, people don't understand, man. Like, $100 of Google or $5,000 of Google. It's still a lot of money. And the camera died. Bye. Still a lot of money.
Recommendations on books, recommendations on podcasts. Where should people go to, one, learn how to invest, right? Where do they get started? And the right mindset, I think, is the other question I'd love to ask. Where do they go to start cultivating the right mindset for being an investor.
Psychology of Money is probably the best book out there. Like, I love the Psychology of Money because it talks about money as a tool. There's another book called, it's a little bit obscure. You can get a free PDF online. Killing Sacred Cows.
Okay.
Killing Sacred Cows. Here's the thing about books, and I have one other book after this. I never agree with every book I read. Like, I never agree with all of it, but like The Psychology of Money was really awesome. It was a really cool book all the way around. Killing Sacred Cows kind of talked about how everything we're thinking is wrong. It talks about how diversification is actually a bad bet. And Mark Cuban's talked about that as well. Like, he's like, don't ever diversify. Hey, works if you're Mark Cuban, right? And a lot of people probably thinking, hey, that works if you're Justin and you bought some Google. But it doesn't necessarily, he's right.
Yeah.
If you put all your money in the right thing that you believed in, maybe that's yourself, whatever it is, like, you're going to make the more money. So I like to listen to those books, like the Killing Sacred Cow, the Psychology of Money is a great book. The best book that I've listened to recently that's really changed how I think about things is Die with Zero. And I told you about this. I don't think you read it, but
It's on my shelf. I
Die
haven't read
with
it yet.
Zero changed a lot of my mindset. And I'm not saying I'm going to die with zero. I'm not saying I'm not going to give money. And the title of the book is horrible, but I think he did it on purpose. I think he wants you to get a little bit upset. So you go, either you're really close-minded. Remember, I always say yes to everything. Like, try jujitsu, Justin. Okay. I got my first stripe and I got the heck out of that. That was the worst recommendation you've ever given me. Yeah, I think so. I always say yes, and I'm just like, hey, let's just see how this works out, right? So Die with Zero talked about some of the things that I've never been able to put into words in such a better way. Like, it's not don't give your kids money. It's actually what would happen if you gave your kids the money way before you died.
Yeah.
What if you wanted to start that charitable organization? What if you started it when you're 46 versus 73? What if you wanted to give $3 million to cancer research? Whatever it is. Like, what if you did it right now? And why are you holding on to that extra 50 million that you're never going to actually really need? So Die with Zero was a really great book in terms, like, those are my financial books that I think deal with mindset the most. Now, if you want to learn about stock market, just make it simple. Like, that's what I'm all about. Let's make it simple. Let's keep it simple. Like, if you want mindset, like The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle, greatest book ever, because you start realizing that you're not here. Like, this isn't us. Okay, it's not. Like, this is just a vessel holding us.
Yep.
And the only thing we have, like, right now, the only thing I have is this time sitting here with you. Like, that's the only thing that's guaranteed. I don't know what's going to happen when we turn off this microphone and get up. I have no idea what's going to happen, but there's a lot of power in right now. And then from a mindset perspective, maybe a little bit, I don't know, controversial, but Outwitting the Devil was a great book.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
Okay, Outwitting the Devil was a great book. The author might be a little questionable. There are some articles saying that he might have been a scam artist, which apparently I or maybe I'm attracted to people who like try to run scams on me or something, or either cult leaders or scam artists. But Outwitting the Devil was a really great book on abundance mindset.
I feel like there's so many of those books. What's the oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the. I wish I wouldn't even start this sentence, because there's that other really famous book.
Get the audiobook, because he does an impression of the devil talking. So like he's talking back and forth. It's great. It's the greatest book ever. You have to get the Audible if you're going to do Outwitting the Devil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Outwitting the Devil. Okay. Justin, where people can find you?
So they can find me on the lake. Oh, that's probably not what you mean. So I'm on the lake every single morning, and I'm also on a lot of social media. Like, I've always been opposed to social media. And like, if you were to ask me what my Instagram is, I don't even know. Is that bad to say? But I figured out that you can start making an impact. Like, what I do is so simple. It's so rudimentary that, like, I know your kids are a little too young, but like, in a couple years, they would be able to do exactly what I'm doing. That's how simple it is. It's just a few clicks of a button. And I was like, well, why should I keep this to myself? Why would I not tell other people? So I built a website, Mr. Money Maxwell. It turned into a trading community. It turned into a coaching business. So like right now, I coach people. Like right before this podcast, I coached 3 people today. And it's really cool because right now I have like 5 people that I'm coaching and they're all on the same day. So it's like I get Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, I'm busy. Except for that one guy who decided he's got to have a vacation in 2 weeks. I haven't told you about that, but so now I'm going to have one. But I have a coaching business. I have a website, Mr. Money Maxwell. There you'll find all my social media links because I'm really bad at social media. That's why I had to like hire somebody to help me with social media because I don't really see myself as, let me put myself out there for social media. But I've figured out through helping other people, through like making really small changes and showing people things, that you can make a huge impact. And I think everybody listening to this podcast probably has something where they could help other people. And I think a lot of people don't see that in themselves, or they think, I'll just do that another day. You know, that's for 5 years from now. Oh, when my kids go to school. Oh, you know what? I'll get around to calling him back, whatever day it is. And Eckhart Tolle is going to tell you that the power of now, it means, bro, it's right now. So that's why I built a community, a trading community. I built a coaching business that some days I hate, just like every other business. But when you see the actual results, when you see somebody go out and not so much make money, but build a system that gives them the freedom to go overseas. Like, I know people who are traveling in RVs. I've helped them build systems to where they can, like, that's a nightmare to me, bro. I don't want to get an RV and go. They want to go over to Europe and spend months at a time, go down to Mexico and spend 3 months in Mexico. Like, we built them passive systems using the stock market to generate income. And so when I started seeing that I could do that on a small level, I realized that I actually have the obligation to help more people. Like, I'm obligated to help more people because I know something so simple that if you have the money, you can just make passive income. And I think that's what everybody really wants. So MrMoneyMaxwell.com, head on over, check out my wonderful social media. I post pictures of ducks and turtles, like on Instagram. Check out my store if you're into turtles, ducks. I have a pet blue heron out here. He's not here right now.
He was earlier. He was
was he?
Buoy this morning or earlier when we started.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's just waiting for me to feed the fish. I don't feed him because he needs to catch his own. He's really bad at it. He's really bad. But yeah. So that's what I do. If you want to see Blue, just check out my Instagram. Check out the stories. If you want to learn more, like I write on Substack. I've been doing a lot more. A bit avoiding AI writing a little bit more because what I do is so different. Yeah. I didn't realize it. Like, nobody understands. Like, you can tell Claude to write it out, and Claude's going to write out just, it's probably the same way with all businesses, but he just writes out something that isn't really what I do. So I have to put that out there so people can actually see that the stock market can be for them, and you don't have to lose everything in the stock market. And, man, please don't send me your comments of how you've lost your money in the stock market. Man, I know. And like you said, if you're out there right now and you have a W-2 and you have a ridiculous amount of shares in your company, sell them. Just sell them.
Not financial advice.
Well, absolutely financial advice from someone who doesn't know a thing. Like, I don't have a clue, but I've heard of this company called Enron. I don't know if you know it. If you don't, probably too young, just look it up. But these people put all their money in what they know. So real estate investors put all their money in real estate stocks. Hey, man, there's other stocks out there besides your company. There's ways to make money in the stock market where you don't have to risk it all. You don't have to be a gambler. You don't have to spend hours there. And then if you really want to hope that a lizard falls on Chance's head before this end of this, maybe it will. Like, it's just right behind you right now.
So done.
Yeah,
well, Justin, I appreciate you. I thank you for sliding into my DMs 6 years ago.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Because one, cultivated this amazing friendship my kids call you Uncle Justin now, right? That's how far a relationship can come when you invest in other people. And I see you invest in other people nonstop, and I'm super appreciative to have you in my life and someone who pushes me, quite honestly.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Can't wait. Gatorland tomorrow.
Dude, we're going to
Gatorland tomorrow.
It's gonna be
Yeah, it's
great.
gonna be great.
All right, man. I appreciate you. That's
Sure,
the pod.
bro.